What's going on, Angelo fam? In today's video, I'm going to go over whether or not I think the Tesla Model S is the worst Tesla. I've owned the Model S, the Model 3, the Model X, and the Model Y. And currently, my daily driver is a Tesla Model S long range refresh. And here you're going to see whether or not I think you'd be better off just getting a Model 3 or Model X or Model Y. So enjoy. All right, guys. So here is the exterior of the Tesla Model S. For those of you who are curious, it's definitely the longest of all the Teslas. As you can see, the body over here, extremely long. I've had the Model 3, the Model S, the X, and the Y. And this one has probably been the hardest for me to park just because of how long the car is. The car is gorgeous, in my opinion. It's the most gorgeous looking exterior of all the cars, but it is very long. Also, the turning radius is not that great. So whenever I get the car, I try and turn it. It doesn't really turn too well, and you'll have to kind of back up a lot of places, and then you have to drive back forward, and even for you just to get into the parking spot or just turn into wherever you're trying to go. Also, with regards to the car, because it has this blacked out trim look, I noticed there's a lot of oxidation starting to occur within the car. So whenever you take it through a car wash, it starts to oxidize this. Everyone says put WD-40 on it and it'll go away, but I haven't tried it yet, so we're gonna see what happens there. With regards to the car itself, I have the refresh one, but it looks like when I purchased the car, it didn't have the new charging ports, and I still have the old school charging ports. And it's kind of cool, right? Where it's like very sleek and minimal, but it does look very outdated. I honestly prefer the charging ports that flip up and you're able to charge and plug in the car. When it comes to the car itself, driving, so the car is very low to the ground. Because the Model S is kind of like your performance car, it's very low to the ground, and you will get a lot of curb rash. I know a lot of you guys hate on me in the comments for that, but hey, it's the truth. I get a lot of curb rash. Maybe I'm not that good at parking, or the car is just kind of very, very low. I've driven a Model 3 long range performance, and this is the long range Model S, and I've noticed it's very low to the ground, so you do get a lot of curb rash whenever you park the car. Also, because the car is so low to the ground, you're very susceptible to potholes. So I'll get like a ton of potholes whenever I drive the car, go too fast, and then there's like a pothole, and then the car tire will pop. I was spending about like almost $1,000 replacing 2 tires because of potholes. Also, the crazy thing I've noticed about this car, and I might get a lot of hate for this, is that Tesla tends to put the battery heavy, like kind of on the back right side. So this tire over here has popped on me, in a sense that because the battery is too heavy on this side of the car, it tends to erode the inner part of the tire, causing the tire to pop. And this has happened to me before. And then whenever I had the people come out, like the tow truck people come out, they told me, hey, this is super normal. We see this all the Teslas. Every time the right side of the car gets too heavy, the tire tends to like break and crack. So I was driving and I was like on a road trip, and then this right tire cracked inside here. Because that cracked, it put too much pressure on this tire over here, and then this tire ended up breaking too, and I had to replace 2 tires. It was insane. It was about $1,000 just to replace 2 tires because it's a Tesla Model S. So that is unfortunate. I've gone to cheaper tires now. I don't have the Michelin Pilot Sport tires. I just have like a generic tire that does fit on this car. I haven't really been able to tell the difference because I don't race the car at all. I just really use it as a daily driver. And that's one thing I recommend. If you do get new tires, just try and save your money and don't go for the fancy Michelin Pilot Sport tires unless you're going on a track, unless you're racing this thing, or unless you got a ton of money. Okay, so when it comes to rock chips, I actually have wrapped the car in a strong kind of like wrap, so it is very strong and there hasn't been many rock chips. But when I did get it wrapped, initially, before getting it wrapped, the paint chipped like crazy. I had paint chips all over the car, and even the guy who wrapped my car said, you had a lot of paint chips. It was kind of ugly to look at, but we wrapped it so it's a little bit better. Right now, I have a wrap and it's starting to peel. I honestly don't care, man. It's a daily driver, but there is a lot of peelage occurring with the car. So let me go inside the car now and just show you kind of like some issues I've also faced with it. Let's open the doors. Here's the back seat of the car. Back seat of the car has been fairly good. Nothing too crazy has ever happened to the car. But these USB charge ports, they always like break. So I've had it replaced already. And sometimes I'll have to hard reset the car for them to work. I'm not sure, honestly. Tesla, we can't tell. I've gone to service center, we've tried a couple times. We don't know if it's the actual ports that are broken or it's just the car needs to be reset. So that's one thing we've kind of faced with the car, which is unfortunate with the car. Another thing too is like there's not a lot of space back here in the Model S. I think the Model X and the Model Y have had the most space in the back, which I enjoyed, and most people did enjoy sitting back here. But when you kind of come here by yourself and this is your daily driver, not the most spacious of cars. Interior is held up pretty well. Nothing too crazy that's kind of happened. No wear and tear. Everyone always complains about, oh, this is not working. Dude, look at that. That just like stopped working out of nowhere. So this like clothing clip where you're supposed to hang your clothes on doesn't stick anymore. It's kind of unfortunate. Everyone always complains also about the build quality. It does feel like just a whole bunch of like plastic all around the car, which is kind of unfortunate. So this is something brand new, guys. We gotta get this fixed now, take it to a service center. Is it worth it going to service center to fix this thing that I don't really use? Yes, no, who knows, but we'll bring it in. Okay, so that's the back of the car. Let's just jump in the front and show you everything over there. Okay guys, here is the front of the Tesla. Overall, what have we done? What have we changed? Is there any been issues? So this thing here, this broke when I first got it. Essentially, it wouldn't close. It would just stay open and the whole time. And that was very annoying. They had to replace this whole thing over here. That was kind of unfortunate. With regards to the car itself, the wheel, as you can tell, it's a circular wheel now. It used to be a yoke. I changed it from a yoke to the circular wheel because I didn't enjoy the feeling of driving the yoke. Yoke was cool like in a straight line when you're driving and making left and right turns solid. But when it came to U-turns, when it came to doing full self-driving, it was very, very tricky because it's a giant square that's really spinning and it could hit you. And I just didn't enjoy the feel of it. This is a lot easier when doing full self-driving because you'll do U-turns, you'll do left and right turns, the car will merge lanes, and just easier to control this wheel compared to yoke steering wheel. That's what I've kind of noticed with the car itself. When it comes to the interior of the car, it's overall held up pretty well. No major breakage issues that's happened with the car. It's just the kind of smaller things that have happened with the car. Like I will go over kind of the interior damage that has occurred within, in the car, like the itself. So let me kind of talk about that. So when it's come to the car and like the actual major damage to the car, what's broken is the door handles. The door handles will open and close out of nowhere, and you're just like, the motor would break. So you have to replace the entire motor for the door handle. That's happened once to the back door over there. And then another thing too was the suspension. There is an air suspension in the car for those of you guys that are curious. So here's like, I'm going suspension. That's kind of how it works, is adaptive suspension dampening. What happened was the car, I was driving it and then I parked. I just kept hearing it go on and off. It kept like filling up air with the suspension, and it happened for like a couple weeks. And I was like, all right, there's definitely something wrong with the car. So I didn't bring it to Tesla, and then Tesla said, hey, it looks like the air suspension popped. We have to change the entire suspension. And if the car wasn't under warranty, it would have been extremely expensive, but thankfully it was under warranty and we were able to change that suspension without it kind of being a major cost for the car. So this car, it's beautiful. It's probably the most gorgeous car I've driven for Tesla, and I enjoy the most aesthetically, and it has the best battery, but it has given me the most problems. The Model 3 and the Y, very well put together because it's their mass-produced car, but the S, tons of problems. I don't know if it's because it's the earlier versions of the refresh, so they were just trying to push the car out, and now that it's kind of a few years later, it's starting to break. But that's kind of what's been happening. I think the newer S's, like the ones that are coming out like now in 2024, 2025, they are less of a hassle and less trouble to use, which is great for the new owners, but for the older owners, it just kind of sucks that it's always breaking. But overall, is the Tesla Model S the worst Tesla? No, I don't think it's the worst Tesla. It's actually a really great car. I think it's beautiful. The only problems I have are just the random issues that happen with the car braking and everything of that nature. But overall, it's an amazing car. I love the battery life. I love the look it has. A lot of people, Tesla community, like love, they always compliment me whenever we're in a service center or whenever it's like a fellow Tesla enthusiast, which is pretty cool. But yeah, overall, it's a pretty solid car. To see the worst Tesla, my least favorite Tesla, I don't know. It might have been the Model X, to be honest with you, just because it was so big and I didn't think it was practical, especially if I don't have a lot of people riding with me usually, and it was just hard to park. So that's probably the worst Tesla for me. But overall, the Model S is not the worst Tesla, but I will make more content on the Model X probably going forward, so you guys can see more reviews on that car in itself. Angelo family, I appreciate you guys watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. This is the video, is to Tesla Model S the worst Tesla. It's not. But check out all my other channels below. I have the Angelo Carlos Talks, which is my business finance channel. And then check out my Instagram, Angelo Carlos. Take a look at my newsletter, which is called the Silicon Buddy. That is my newsletter where I just post everything about Tesla, business, and tech. And then also I have a affiliate links for Tesla products. I think I'm gonna start selling Tesla products like under my own business. So I'm pretty excited for that. But stay tuned for that, Angelo family. I appreciate you guys so much for like, commenting, and subscribing. And I hope you have an amazing day. Peace.